Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the Disney Plus show Ahsoka. Let's get into it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I am the nerd with the laughs here with.
The nerd with the knowledge.
That's right, and as he said, we're going to be talking about Ahsoka. I've been waiting for this series so bad. I'm super excited about this. So we're going to dive right in.
Absolutely.
So first two episodes are up on Disney Plus right now. Part one, they're doing parts. It looks like they're not episode one, episode two. They're part one, part two, which is cool. So they dropped the first two, which are in the 40s minutes. Can you pull up the runtime on those? I think I have it. I have it here, but actually,
57 for the first, 44 for the second.
Correct. And the part one is Master and Apprentice. So we're going to be talking about that one first. We're going to start that off. Thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is optimistically probably going to be the best Star Wars series.
Yeah, easily could be a 6-stone.
Oh yeah, at the end of it, I foresee that happening. I'm predicting
the first two
that.
episodes. The way the first one ended, the way the second one ended, hard cliffhangers, but you know where they're going still-ish. So they're not.
I think if you're more of a fan of the Clone Wars, or if you've seen that little bit in Rebels, a little bit. Again, it's its own story. I think that they're telling.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly am enjoying the first two, at least that first look into Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So get a little bit more into it. So
this whole storyline is an extension of after the end of Rebels.
Okay.
So the way Rebels ends is the way Episode 2 ends, which we see her standing at the end. We see her standing at the end, and then Sabine standing in front of the mural of all of them, a mural that she drew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's
did she draw that? Okay.
Yeah. And that's why she didn't show up to the ceremony in the first episode, because she drew it, but she felt like.
Big spoilers, guys. Yeah, 17.
She didn't want to be at the ceremony because it didn't feel complete or right, because Ezra wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's missing her.
Who is on the painting?
Correct, which is a Jedi, who's the hologram that we see. So he's sacrificing his life at the end of Rebels, in the finale, and he takes these Purgil whales, and they're like, when they go into hyperspeed.
We saw this in Mandalorian.
Yes.
And Grogu's looking out of the window, kind of puts his hand up on the window. And
correct. Those are the whales that Ezra uses, and the whales kind of like grab onto Admiral Thrawn's ship, and Thrawn and Ezra are in there, and he sacrifices himself. They shoot off, and so they space jump.
This is Rebels.
Yes.
Okay.
So a little background on Ahsoka first before I get too much into it.
Please do.
We saw in Tales of the Jedi, the animated series, which didn't have much dialogue. A lot of just like them just in the motions, seeing her culture, her family, where she's from, kind of her getting that knighthood of like a seal of like of a young female going out there and living in the wild with her mom, and they go to kill it looks like a deer situation, and then that tiger thing comes out of nowhere.
I feel like Tales was more of a plot telling. It wasn't really necessarily like focusing in on any particular story. It was more very origin-esque.
Yeah.
So it was very just telling who the character is, and that's about it.
Yeah. So we see her as a baby, which is the first time we've ever seen her.
Adorable.
And now we see her as in Rebels and in Clone Wars, we see her as a youngling, and she is Anakin's
Padawan.
Yes. Correct. And he becomes, very, very fond of her, and Anakin's very scared to take on Padawan because he's a Jedi Knight who is not yet a master, and he's like, why do I have a Padawan?
And that's not really done much, right? Where knights are taking on apprentices is more master.
I mean, Obi-Wan did when he was still.
I thought he was a master by that point.
No, because Qui-Gon was his master.
Oh, that's correct. You're right.
He had promised Qui-Gon that he'd teach the boy.
And I think that was more because of Qui-Gon's untimely death.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is the only circumstance as to why that happened.
Yeah, and there's a lot of parallels to Qui-Gon's death, to Obi-Wan having to step up and honor his father's. His master's. I'm sorry.
Oh
Honor
my
his
God,
master's.
you're losing me here.
Honor his
Who's that?
master's dying wish
Yeah.
to train Anakin.
For sure.
He was forced to do something he wasn't maybe quite ready for. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't ready to be a master.
Yeah, I think that has to play with their dynamic.
And why they were
episode
argumentative
2,
with each
episode
other.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're more
partially
brothers
leading
than master.
to why a lot of people ask the question: what if Qui-Gon never passed? Would Anakin have ever fell to the dark side?
I believe yes, because I think had he not been with Padme, I think Padme is the reason he goes to the dark side. I think Padme is that one reason.
Tread lightly, because you just said women are the problem. Tread lightly.
I mean, I'll give you one word of the backs of my story: Kardashians. Name one guy to get out of that successfully. Pete Davidson, maybe. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get back to Star Wars, please. No, so I just feel like it's that story. That's a Nexus level story. I think that no matter how anything else
You
changes,
think he was always destined to be
so
Darth Vader?
I think he is. I think because no matter how that happens, I think Padme is always meant to die. I don't think there's any other way that she lives through that story, and I think that look at his trek through to the dark side. It's all centered around Padme. The only reason he goes to look for the Dark Force, the only reason is Padme. He's trying to stop her that death.
I think it was his mom, because he couldn't protect his mom.
That
That's why
too.
he tried so hard to protect Padme.
I think that lights the fire. I think that's the matchstick to his dark side.
Yeah.
Is that death to his mom, which is understandable. You know, his mom was the only person he had in his life. So yeah, but I don't think Qui-Gon's death or life has anything to do with Anakin's story. I don't.
I'm on the flip side of that. I
Okay.
think because we see in Tales of the Jedi, Qui-Gon taking to Count Dooku's teachings.
So that's okay. Is that what has to play into yours because of that's really why Dooku goes to the dark side because of Qui-Gon's death?
Yeah.
So is that your thinking that's just going to transfer over to
I
the
think
Anakin?
Qui-Gon was, as much as he was rebellious and he questioned a lot of but it was a good question. It was the culmination of what a Jedi should be, and then the thoughts that Count Dooku had.
The way I see Dooku is the way I see Thanos. Is I understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like it's understood. Like, oh, he's got the right frame of mind. He's just, as it turns out, is just going more on the darker side of it.
Aggressive side.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I just think Dooku and Qui-Gon have valid points in why they believe what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he would have fell to the dark side.
So you think Qui-Gon would have been able to reel him in from the dark side?
Correct.
I don't. I that's where I disagree. I mean, agree, disagree. I don't feel. Look how powerful Anakin is. I don't think anything can stop that. I don't. I think his being is so fueled by the dark side. I just don't see it being reeled in the way Kylo was able to be reeled in towards the end. I don't see that happening.
Think so?
Because Kylo struggled throughout the entire 3 films with the light and dark. And I just he was very manipulated into being into the dark side.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I think Darth Vader was always set to be on the dark side. I think the only reason that he stopped that at the end was just to prevent his kid from dying. The only reason he stopped Palpatine was going to kill Luke.
Fair. Okay.
So I you know what I mean? I think he's dark through and through. It's totally understandable for me. I see why Darth Vader was Darth Vader. 1000%.
I mean, ultimately, he did fulfill the prophecy.
You think that the prophecy was right? That
I mean,
the light did.
Whether he did it through the dark side first, and he did bring peace to the universe. He did bring down
so loud.
Sidious. He did,
so loud.
Yeah, I mean, like he ended it all. You know what I mean? He ended the Sith.
Yeah, Yeah.
So I mean, but he did it in a tricky way. It wasn't the the most cleanest way.
Deceitful kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
But because he was always, I don't know. I really think Qui-Gon could have pulled it off, and I think Dooku would have never went to the dark side. I think they would have pulled off and created their own faction. Obi-Wan would have followed, and if Dooku and Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin create this like great Jedi concept,
Sick, yeah.
you know what I mean? And where they understand the morals of it, but they they allow for relationship, and they allow. I think if Anakin's molded and able to still be with Padme, I think as powerful as Vader is through the dark side, we never knew what his full capability could have been without having to have the robotic arms and everything added to him. Yeah, he's extremely powerful, known as one of the most powerful, wielders of the Force ever.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no limit to what he could have done with with being just pure human. You know what I mean? I feel like he could have been way more powerful of a Jedi.
Agreed.
As a dark side user, we know that he kept the suit that he had because it caused him physical pain, which fueled more rage, which allowed him to channel the dark side more and make him more powerful.
Yeah.
He had Sidious had other suits and prototypes to make him more mobile and less bulky and stocky,
less robotic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he would not be in constant pain like he is in this suit.
But he wanted.
He chose to stay.
I think he wanted it also as a reminder of Padme, so like he wanted to hold on to that kind of thing. I tell you what, I can meet you halfway in the aspect of. I think had Qui-Gon not died, I think it would have been more of a struggle for Anakin to go to the dark side. Because I think he would have been battling that.
Could he have been tempted? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think it would have been more similar to Kylo's struggle. With the light and the good.
Where there's a constant teeter-totter versus a hardcore I'm dark side now.
Yeah, exactly. Which what is eventually what Anakin went to. So I do agree in the aspect that Qui-Gon would have staved it off as much as long as possible.
Yeah.
I do agree in that aspect.
Yeah.
I don't agree with. I think the outcome would have been him. He would always eventually go to dark.
Okay.
That's just that's just my.
Well, the only reason why I bring up all this is because Obi-Wan struggled to. He did the best of his abilities to show Anakin, and I think Anakin realized that Obi-Wan struggled to teach him, and that's why he was terrified to have his own Padawan. So when he had Ahsoka as his Padawan, he did some really extensive training with her. With the I forget what the fleet number is called, but they're a very strong fleet number of clone troopers, and he had them. I think the 101st Battalion.
That sounds right. Well, Ahsoka is the one who walked away from Anakin.
Right.
So we'll get into that later.
So she walked away from the Jedi Order because she was framed.
And essentially Anakin also, because she states it. She goes, "I walked away from Anakin."
Yes,
she states it in the series.
It gets deeper, but
yeah, for sure.
So some of the training she went through is that she would make all. He made all of the outside of the normal Jedi training. He needed her to get her ready for because they're in the middle of war, the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? And that's when he was assigned to her. I need to get you ready for war, for anything they could possibly happen.
Yeah, I saw that a bit in the Clone Wars. The kind of the very dynamic that him and Obi had. Excuse me, that him and Obi had. He shared that a little bit with Ahsoka, where she kind of challenged his teachings, and she was. But
they're both very erratic and very
which is why I think Anakin understood his Padawan.
Yes.
He's like, "You're me."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. But the training that he put her through, he had all of the soldiers surround her.
In Tales, correct? You were talking about that training.
He did it. They did it in Tales, and in Clone Wars, she practiced. She continues to practice.
Oh, okay.
And that's how she was able to save herself from what's it called? From Order 66.
Right. Yeah.
Because of all the training that he put her through, extensive, hardcore. No other Jedi goes through this, and this is why she's that strong of a Jedi.
Do you think that Anakin's very tuned into the Force? Do you think he foresaw that coming, and that's why he trained her that way?
I just think.
Or you just think he just prepared her for every possible situation?
Yeah, because in the shortcomings of what Obi-Wan didn't teach him these things. But he had the raw talent to do it. He was naturally gifted because he was a being of the Force.
I feel like the only thing wrong with Obi's teaching is he tried sticking too much to what the Jedi Order wanted. and
yeah.
he didn't
Because he had to.
yeah, but he didn't take it upon himself to like, what does my Padawan need?
Yeah.
He always is like, oh, these are the rules, I gotta follow
Again,
these.
forced into being a master and having to train a Padawan.
So he held on to those teachings of the Jedi because he's like, look, this is what they want to do. All right, fine, I'm not
and
ready.
This is what
this.
I know.
Yeah.
He hadn't matured enough as a Jedi to think his own way, to the way Dooku and Qui-Gon had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Qui-Gon was old. You know what I mean? And he was, and when he passed, he was able to Force Ghost himself afterward. You know what I mean? So no other person. He taught Yoda how to Force Ghost.
I wish we could got a little bit of more Obi Force Ghost and Obi-Wan series. I think that would have been cool. Like first,
you mean Qui-Gon Force Ghost?
What did I say? Obi-Wan? Sorry, yeah, Qui-Gon's Force Ghost.
Instead of at the end?
Right. I think if we would have saw him in the beginning, that would have been cooler. But I want to take a break. So this is my Ahsoka Funko here. Check it out. She's got like a few of them. I don't know if you've seen on the back here. There's a few more. I've got Bo-Katan because this series has Bo-Katan, Mando. Oh, Mando without the helmet. Cool. But you guys can get a bunch of these. They have a few set of the Star Wars Funkos over at Raw Comics. So check them out. I definitely have purchased a few of my Funkos from them. They got them good price there, $10, $20. You know, or actually they're more around the $10 price. More some of the maybe the more rare ones they'll have a little bit higher price, but still a good buy. And also they have a few of the Star Wars series comics.
Oh, nice.
So a few of those lines. So check those out. The description for their websites will be below. So check them out. And then if you guys want any more details, their address and info should be up on their website. But check those guys out. And then let them know till the online podcast sent you. They may, hook you guys up a little bit. So, so let's get back into it. So
yeah, so we're talking, like the story of Ahsoka. So she gets framed. She walks away from the Jedi Order because she felt betrayed. And then
who frames her? Is it the Jedi Order?
Savage. She's a dark Jedi. She's Savage Press, I believe is her name is. Yeah, and she's just a red lightsaber wielding darksider, and she's just trying to break down the Empire. Break down the Republic and stuff like that. And there was like a bombing that she was framed for, and it was done all by Savage Press, and then they're like, all the evidence kind of led to Ahsoka, and she's like, no, it wasn't me. Why would I do that? Right. And then because they just ultimately, convicted her of being guilty, she proves her name right, and then they're like, we apologize. We give you back your and then she's like, I want
you, I'm out.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want it. You should have never not believed me.
Yeah,
you should have always had faith in me. And then that's when she realized the Jedi Order was faulty. And so she walked away. And that's where,
with all its great power, the Jedi Order is really skewed in some aspects, dude. Like they have the right intentions, but they go about it a lot of times in the wrong way.
And that was George Lucas's way of saying how corrupt some of our churches, like Christianity and
fair point, dude. Yeah, not only churches, politics in general. Like I think that, and I've talked about this before, but I think that's one aspect of Star Wars that I like. It takes the political aspect, and it really kind of like dives into that without being political.
Well, I think contrary. I think it does a good job of how church and state should be separate. Yeah. And very much so, the Jedi is a religion in that.
Or maybe universe. Maybe I don't see it as political because it is sci-fi aspect. Maybe that's why I'm like,
but the Republic is the government. You know what I mean? That's the politics.
Republican. It's so draws parallels. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's where the Jedi have this conflict of following what the Republic says, but yet still following to the code of the Jedi. Yeah. And that's where these gray areas happen, and this is where things happen, where like Ahsoka gets banished and then brought back, and they're like, "Well, I'm sorry," and then she's like, out.
So let's dive a little bit more into the episode itself. Yeah. So I got to start off with I love the lead-in dialogue, classic Star Wars. Where you're reading it as in the void of space. Yeah. Love that. Kind of missed that a little bit with these other series. They just dive straight into it.
But it's all red. So dark times are coming.
Is that what that represents?
That's how I see it. Yeah. Usually it's the yellow,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes in a time of peace, you know.
Even the entire intro, all the characters are all in red too.
Yeah, and
so.
in episode 2 it flips, and then it has multiple colors. It's not red; it's red and blue and all the other colors.
So maybe that's setting up the Thrawn storyline of like, oh, darkness is coming.
Yeah. Well, Thrawn comes from all of these stories, Legends. I'm sorry, Rebels, Clone Wars, and now these Disney Plus shows are all stemmed from the Legends comics. And Dave Filoni just wants to make all of these stories canonized.
Shout out Dave Filoni,
Love
doing great things in Star Wars.
Him and Jon Favreau have done.
I feel like he's the Joss Whedon, like what Joss Whedon did for like that first phase.
Yeah.
He's doing for Star Wars.
Agreed.
He's got a great mind as far as like Star Wars storytelling goes.
Mm-hmm.
Big supporter of this guy. I think he's doing great things. And I think he is what Peter Safran will be for the DCU. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about future things to come. You know, as far as like what we talk about, what we love.
Yeah.
It's looking very bright. So let's get back into it. So, I gotta say I loved the Rosario Dawson still knocking it out of the park with her portrayal of Ahsoka. Loving it. I did like that. The first thing we see her use her lightsabers, throws them into the ground, is that spin.
Yeah, and that's how she got away from Order 66 with
she threw it into the ground and spun.
Yeah, and spun it around her and Rex, and then they dropped through, and then they escaped.
So sick.
So that's that's the second time she's used it.
Yeah, so it's fair to say that's her move.
Yeah,
that's so sick.
And it's
I didn't notice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't notice that her lightsabers are different sizes.
Yeah.
Never noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
And also the base is very different than your typical lightsaber.
They're longer hilts, and they have a tilt at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get me those.
She made them on her own, and she got those kyber crystals from defeating a Inquisitor.
And is it true she took the color out of it?
Correct.
Okay.
So traditionally, dark side users to get that red color, they have to bleed a crystal. So they'll kill a Jedi, take that kyber crystal, and through rage bleed it to turn red. She purified the Inquisitor one red into white.
So a little fun fact about kyber crystals. Are you familiar with the lore that Luke Skywalker changed color in Return of the Jedi from the other one? Now, do you know the real reason behind that?
No.
Okay, the real reason is a production reason. Is George Lucas wanted to change the color because of that iconic scene of over that sand dune monster. He didn't want the lightsaber to get lost in the sky, the color to get lost in the blue sky, so he changed it to green.
Okay.
That's the real the fact reason as to why he changed the color.
Yeah, where Boba Fett falls into
correct.
The pit.
Yeah, so in that one his lightsaber's green now.
Yeah, the one that shoots out of it shoots out of R2D2, doesn't it? He has like hidden inside of him. Yeah.
So I feel like Luke should have always been green, but that's another conversation. But they made
the only reason I was blue is because it was his father's saber.
Correct. So, right. So, but I feel like he should have made his own. Anyway, again, another conversation. But so I don't know if it's a fans created this lore, and I don't think it is, because I think Obi talks about this. Older Obi.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it's a tongue twister. So they talk about how, it's in the comics actually, but Luke is talking to Obi, but it's in the comic run, where Obi teaches Luke that he can kind of talk to his kyber crystal through the Force. Mm-hmm. So he goes into the Force, and he talks. He's like dealing with his kyber crystal, and the kyber crystal throws up kind of trials of you dealing with aspects of you, and through that you're able to change the color of your crystal.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really interesting read. I found an article on it, and I read the actual particular scene in that comic. I want to try to track down that actual comic so I could read that whole book. But it was a really interesting read, and it kind of helped me understand the kyber crystals and the Force, dealing with the kyber crystals in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting.
That's great.
And it kind of adds
knowledge.
Yeah, it kind of adds some lore and some just deep roots of the kyber crystals that we didn't previously known.
Yeah.
And it was just a cool read, man. I thought it was a really interesting fact. Probably one of the more interesting facts that I've ever read or heard about in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that I guess that's a way to back up the production choice of let's change it to green so we can see it better. Which I doubt anybody would have complained seeing a blue lightsaber against the blue sky. Yeah. I think we would have been fine with it, but I think George Lucas, the great mind that he is, I think he just wanted visually more stunning.
I thought he built. Whoa, here we go. I thought he built his own. That green one is a new lightsaber, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it was ever really talked about or established.
Because it's a different hilt. Because it's not the one. It looks more similar to Qui-Gon's hilt than it did Anakin's. I think he built a different one.
So I don't think that was ever discussed. I think it's just.
I'm positive it was.
Lightsaber.
Yeah, correct.
It's just new lightsaber, new color. As far as that Return of Jedi.
From my understanding, I think he built his own after.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would only imagine.
That was my explaining of. That's why I understood.
Or actually, no, I don't think he built. I think. So as we found out in, was it The Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, I think it was that film, where Leia explains that during her training with Luke,
she built her own.
She's well, no, not that she built her own. She didn't want to be a Jedi because she saw what the future of her kid would be, so she wanted to put down the saber. So she gave her saber to Luke, and her saber was green.
No, but she built her own because he
built
both of them.
Yeah, she built her own, but I think that would explain why he wields that green one. Is he was probably just using Leia's.
No, it wasn't Leia's. Leia's was no, because we see what Leia looks like. Mm-hmm. Leia's is like an all silver. It's pretty looking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not traditional. And not what. Ho-Young? The robot? Hu-Young. Which was cool that she. How the hell did Ahsoka track it down? So it teaches younglings on how to create
lightsaber, basically like a lightsaber tech. Yeah. Which I'm glad you talked a little bit about them. I absolutely love droids in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
They're smart ass like droid.
Some of them, yeah.
Personalities. I absolutely love.
He gives that C-3PO like he's conscious of what's going on. Like he's a little bit more of an advanced droid, not just a normal protocol droid. It just does what you tell it to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's a little bit more conscious because you notice when they're walking they're walking through the spaceship and somebody's carrying one of the droids that got sliced in half by the dark Jedi people, which we'll get into in a minute. Yeah. But he like looks back. He's like, "Oh man, that guy got wrecked." Like he just looks back at it like Jesus Christ. Yeah. So he's more conscious, like how C-3PO is. He's more conscious of like. He's like, oh, I don't want to die, kind of thing. Like,
and I think they make it a point to add personality into droids because they don't want just robotic droids. That'd get boring fast.
Yeah, but a lot of them are. But some that have that like.
That's what I mean. So I think like the ones that are meant to be companions or like part of the team have personality put into them.
Yes.
Like very much with that Imperial droid from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Where he's not like the other ones. He's got a bit of personality.
Yeah. Or the one from Mandalorian.
Correct. Yeah. So I just love the smart ass like personality of him. I feel like that's how you would be as a droid.
A smart ass? Hell yeah, absolutely.
Like my favorite line from the droid was like where they were talking about tapping into the head.
Oh yeah.
She's trying to figure out. This is in episode 2. I'm skipping ahead, but only because of this part where he's like, oh, well, he goes, what happens if you put too much power in it? Oh, it'll explode. It'll explode, and then. What is her name? General Syndulla is like, yeah, let's do it. He goes, well, you're a hologram. Like, yeah, this won't affect you at all. You're a damn hologram. He's like, we're here. That was
in a hospital, mind you.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing. Like, and it's that type of shit that I love. It's like, oh, they're the comic relief without being your typical funny. Ha ha! I'm making a joke. Like, they're just.
But it's very literal, which comes off funny.
Right, which I think is a lot of times funnier than trying to be funny.
Agreed.
Because when you're just stating a literal fact that just happens to be funny.
Right.
So that's the good stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about what else happens in part 1. Excuse me.
So we see Ahsoka going to these temples, and we find out later that these are temples of the witches of Dathomir.
Yes.
Which
I'm not familiar too much a little bit of witches in the Star Wars universe. I don't.
If you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, you see a lot of it.
God damn it.
That is where Darth Maul.
You're always going to just throw that away.
Yeah.
I tried watching it.
They're so good.
I started it, and I'll tell you this. Is it good? Absolutely. For whatever reason, it just doesn't keep my attention. So, like, I can watch 1 or 2 episodes, and then I'm just like, I don't want to watch something else.
I guess.
For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, and I feel like it has to do with the animation style.
Think so?
I don't like that, like, rubbery looking animation that, like,
What?
yeah, dude,
I
it
didn't get
doesn't,
that at all.
it's not aesthetically pleasing for me.
No?
It's just like, it looks like it's very low budget production to me.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is.
Whatever. Anyways, Lady Morgan, who we see in, who's yielding the Beskar spear, and it was fighting Ahsoka, and that's the prisoner that she breaks out, or that he breaks out.
No, is that the same one from Mandalorian?
Yeah,
That's
Balin,
her?
Balin and Shin, the people that they break out.
The Master
Lady,
and Apprentice?
Yeah, they break out Lady Morgan, and she is a witch of Dathomir.
Is that who that is?
From the Mandalorian.
From Mandalorian?
Remember, she's
Get
like, "Where's Thrawn?" and she fights her. That's
Yeah.
where the spear comes from. That's
Get
her.
the hell out of here. That's her?
Yeah.
I did not remember that.
That's why. What's the general's name?
Cinderella?
Cinderella's like, "Hey, we lost your prisoner." That was her prisoner.
From that.
Yeah.
Get the
Yeah.
shit.
I thought you got that.
I didn't know. I didn't connect that. I totally forgot that that's who that was. I just thought it was just a prisoner just from, off camera adventures.
That's who it was. All of this
So
is
that's
leading up to
tying
Thrawn.
in directly from Mandalorian.
Correct.
Sweetness.
And so the Dathomir witches
Mhm.
are a sisterhood of
Traveling pants.
They yield like this witch magic, and then that green magic that came out in episode 2. That's the magic that they use, but they use the Force. So essentially, they're witches
So it's
of
force
the Force.
magic.
Yeah.
Force magic. Okay.
Correct, and that predates the Sith and the Jedi.
Ooh.
So it is an older form of the Force, maybe an original form of the Force.
Oh shit. Okay.
But no one that's not been confirmed yet. But it's old. It's super old.
It's a little bit of
and
lore. Yeah.
Darth Maul's mother is a witch of
Oh.
the Dathomir.
Okay.
So that ties in a lot.
Quick side note: would you want a Darth Maul series?
I think so. I think it'd be great.
Fuck yes.
I want to see him die and fight Obi-Wan.
Oh,
the
so
way I talked to
him.
It was a beautiful death between
So
Obi-Wan.
tell me a bit about that.
When Obi-Wan defeats him in Rebels, it was a beautiful fight.
The Rebels, okay.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous fight, and Darth Maul gives acceptance to understanding that Anakin is the chosen one. He's like, is he really?
Because he fights that in the beginning, right? He
Yeah.
fights that he's the chosen one. He's very, I don't know, get like a stepchild, like he's
Yeah.
not the one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he wanted to be the one. He wanted to be his apprentice.
Oh,
you know?
so Neo.
Yeah. So when that Obi-Wan fight, they fight, Obi-Wan kills him. It's a quick, fast ending, and then Obi-Wan holds him in his last breaths. He says, "Is he really the chosen one? Is he gonna
I think I've
right
seen
or
this.
wrong?"
I think I've seen this and a clip of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, he's gonna right our wrongs. He's gonna do what they couldn't."
I did see this. Yes.
So
I remember that line.
it'd be nice to see that live action. To see Ewan McGregor come back, have Darth Maul come back.
I feel like Darth
Mechanic
Maul
legs.
is probably one of the most overshadowed characters. I
Mhm.
think he definitely could have used more of a limelight.
Well, not to put it in your face again, but if you watch Rebels and Clone Wars,
shut it.
he takes over Mandalore. He yields a dark saber.
He needs
Like-
his own show, just Darth Maul.
Yeah.
all
That's
about
what I'm
Darth
saying.
Maul.
That's what I'm
His
saying.
own
I
show.
would like to see that.
He becomes a ruler of Mandalore.
Ooh.
And
you know?
what's her name? Lala in it. Or what's her name?
You just want that because you're gonna dress as that character for
What's her
C2
name
too.
again? I forgot.
I don't know. You're
Oh,
gonna-
the
Darth Maul or whatever.
I don't know what her name is,
It's
but I know what you're talking about.
literally looks like his sister, like the female version of Darth Maul.
So yeah. So anyways, back to where
Yes.
goes
Sorry.
to the temple. It's an old temple of the Sisters of Dathomir, and we see Balin and we see Shin, and their last name is Skrull and Hiti, Haiti maybe, and they're based off of Norse mythology, they're like wolves-looking things that they're chasing the sun and yeah, they're chasing the sun to devour its light or whatever.
Oh.
Which is similar to who they are. Which Skrull and Hiti are the North mythology wolves, and they are Balin and Shin, who are also searching throughout the stars and searching the sun and looking for this map.
Oh, right. Yeah,
You
the
know,
map
so
to
there's
to
that
throw
parallel.
on. So I want to ask you about that because we see the map highlights Thrawn is kind of like in this separate like galaxy-esque thing, right?
Mhm.
Where he's separate from their galaxy.
Yeah.
Their
Well, in
galaxy
episode
comes
two-
from the orb, right?
Right.
So it shows that, and then it shows a beam connecting that. Now I wanted to ask you this: where he is that because of the whale
Yes.
time jump thing? Is that why he ended up there through
Yeah,
that?
because if you look at where he is and then it points to it, surrounding it are the whales.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah. So in like this that cool like hieroglyph of
Mhm.
all like the golden color,
Mhm.
it and then in episode 2, we'll just jump back and forth between the
Let's do
episodes.
it.
In episode
Try
2,
to stay with us.
we see they're at this new temple, which predates. She's like, this is not. It wasn't a temple of Dathomir. It wasn't, or from Dathomir, like from the witches. And it's not a Jedi temple. It's something that predates all of them.
Oh.
And this is where I think that those ruins where they pulled up like the galaxy thing all around them. Those ruins are from the Rakatan or whatever. They are an ancient species who came through time and space, not through space and time. Typically, you say space first and time, but in this time, they come from a different point in time.
I've always known it as time and space, not space and time.
Think so?
I've always heard it reference time and space,
Okay.
not space and time.
Fair enough. Well,
Mhm.
I've seen it as well because she says like they're in a different point in time, not a different or not a different space. You get what I'm saying? So like
They're from a
have to-
different point in time, not a different part of time and space.
yes,
So okay.
yes. So they have technology, and I think that those ruins have to do with them. That's where the Jedi Order comes from. They were like anything they touched, they took over. And the Jedi helped fight them away and take over, and then that's how where the Jedi Order came from, with fighting their peace from them.
So
And
now where does Thrawn work into all this then?
so at the end of Rebels, when he takes off with those whales, when Ezra takes him, that's where they think these whales have taken them, because they can time jump.
Mm-hmm.
But not only time jump.
Time jump meaning time travel? Or
yeah, well, but it's a pocket reality. So in Rebels again, also, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep referencing.
No,
it.
please do. No,
Ezra
I
goes
need
to
to know
this-
this thing. So
Ezra
go.
goes to this. I wrote it down too. Where is it? It's the world between worlds. So he goes to this weird spot.
Very
And
TVA.
yes,
Okay.
it's very TVA.
Oh, okay.
And there's like different doors that are just open, and he walks through this this path where it looks like it's nothing. He's essentially walking on glass. There's nothing underneath it, but there's a path that he's walking. And then there's different pathways that step off, like branch realities, essentially, like the TVA.
Okay.
And he walks into this one spot, and he kind of alters time in Rebels because he pulls Ahsoka out before Darth Vader defeats her, and then she walks with him, and then they see Ezra Miller, not Ezra,
Ezra Miller.
Jed.
Ooh, it's the Flash.
No, they see Kanan Jarruk, his master as a Jedi, when he goes blind, and then he's able to use his force to stop a huge explosion and save Ezra, Maul, and
I think I've seen this too.
yeah, there's a lot of like TikTok clips. And
I
stuff
think
like
I've
that,
seen
and-
this.
but it's in Rebels.
I vividly remember that. Yeah, I do. I have seen that. Yeah.
And then like he's like holding it, and then he turns and he can see for the last time, and then he takes the explosion and blows up. He doesn't alter that. He allows that to happen, because he realizes that if he continues it, he can alter too much. So whatever. Ahsoka comes back. She goes back through her portal. She's alive. She gets away. But he technically already altered the original timeline because she should have probably been defeated by Vader, but she evades it. So there's a lot of weird things happening with this. So he's
Oh, that's her old master she's fighting.
yeah. That's when she finds out that it's Anakin. She doesn't know, and that's when
Oh, right.
she didn't know this whole time that it was Anakin.
I think what I will do is watch at least Rebels, because that's not as long as the run as Clone Wars, correct?
Correct.
So I think I'm gonna watch that just
Yeah.
to brush up on more of Ahsoka.
There's a lot more references to Rebels in Ahsoka, so yes.
It looks like it.
For
'cause
relevancy, I think so. Yes.
She even says once a rebel, always a rebel. So
Correct.
it's like I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna watch
So
Rebels
good.
at least for Rebels.
Yeah.
Just
So
'cause-
you get to see Ezra build his first lightsaber. It was a blaster lightsaber, so it was a gun and a saber.
Sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but then it breaks because it was horribly built.
I would imagine.
But yeah, so like, I don't know. Let's just bullet point some things that you have questions for, or I can continue to. talk about all the nerd stuff that I found.
Okay. Well, one thing I will point out is I love that we now have a Jedi show.
Yes.
So that's what's up, producer.
I like the girl that's also Jedi and Mandalorian. Kind of
Sabine Wren?
Yeah, Sabine Wren.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more on her.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I will probably get that out of Rebels.
Yeah. And so she is from the same clan that Bo-Katan Kryze is from.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wait, but why does she not have the same colors and stuff?
She
owl.
just has a different color. That's all.
It's the owl.
But she has the mask. It looks like an owl. Like her.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Her helmet is the same.
I didn't
And
see
so
that.
she yields the Darksaber, was trained with it by Kanan Jarrus, and then gives it to Sabine Wren. But that's how.
Who does?
I'm sorry. Gives it to Sabine Wren. Gives it to what's her face? Bo-Katan. Yeah.
Oh.
And then she loses it to Gideon. Not Gideon. Sorry.
I thought you can't give it to
Maul
them.
Gideon,
They have
yeah.
to be fought.
Correct.
Maul Gideon, isn't it?
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. Yeah. You can't. So that's why she ends up losing it. Because
it wasn't really truly
it wasn't
hers.
exactly. It wasn't truly hers. She had to win it through, and then that's why her lead of Mandalore fell through, and that's why she in Mandalorian she's sitting there alone, because no one follows her because she didn't get the saber through battle. There's a lot of, and all that's in Clone Wars. No, it is Rebels. I think it is Rebels.
It's funny. I think Rebels is the one I need to watch.
It's really good, and Dave Filoni is directly involved with both.
I'm gonna go watch it.
We're in the middle episode,
just leave you here. All right. No. So okay. So some of the things I did like, or actually one thing I do want to point out that I hope to see is I hope we get more of Ahsoka as she was in Tales of the Jedi and Clone Wars in the aspects of her agility, her tactician fighting style, and that she's fast.
Yeah.
I hope we get to see more of that because as in regards to what we've seen so far, we've just seen the great lightsaber wielder that she is, but I haven't seen her her gymnastic style or her agility style. I hope we get to see that. If we don't, fair enough. This is live action's version of Ahsoka. So if you lose certain things, it's understandable. I
get it.
I would like to see that a little bit
She's
more.
very acrobatic.
Even if we see a little bit more of her acrobatic style, maybe not in the fighting, but maybe leading to and from fighting.
Yeah.
I think would be.
We saw a glimpse of it when she fought the Inquisitor guy, his name was.
Yeah, can you tell me about him? Who is that?
Well, no one knows. So
no, Mr.
Morik is who he is, and we know we assume he's an Inquisitor because
he has that Inquisitor weapon. Yeah,
and it spins, And how about that dodge at the end? She just.
Yo, she's just like, boom.
Lets it go through.
Yeah, that was that was badass.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like,
takes out the droids, no problem. Fights him, never really seems to be like overwhelmed. You know what I mean?
That's where I get that tactician.
Yeah.
She's fighting him. She's not losing.
No.
But she's just fighting him in a smart way.
Yeah.
So like.
Which is a lot of how Anakin was. Anakin trained her to be that way, which is
okay.
A lot of that.
I can see that.
Yeah. A lot of that shows off, like the aggression that Anakin has. She doesn't have, but his aggression led to
power.
Correct, and her calmness leads to her power. So that they channel it in a different way, but like he knew his aggression ultimately sometimes led to him losing battles.
Now that you say that, I do see. I see it a lot when I believe it was episode 2. Was that Attack of the Clones? I believe episode is Attack of the Clones. I believe. Where he takes down. Is it Count Dooku?
No, it's the third episode 3.
That is episode 3. That really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, correct. Yes. Okay. So episode 3
kills Dooku, and then
when he kills Dooku. If you watch that fight, I see very tactical fighting, and I see him using
all the
smart ways. Yeah, forms.
Lightsaber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I see that, if you go and watch episode 2 of this episode, you see that fighting style in Ahsoka. You see her using the double lightsabers as defense, and you see her just a fighting style of very similar to like how Anakin took down Dooku.
Yeah.
So okay.
He took him down with ease from the way episode 2 ended, and losing his arm to Dooku.
Yeah.
And now Dooku lost his head to him. Like it's just, and he took his lightsaber. It's just yeah, how far he jumped that quickly. Now,
He even talked about it because my power is double since the last time I seen you.
Mhm.
Yeah, faced you.
all of his power growth is shown hardcore in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So Clone Wars happens between episode 2 and episode 3.
Okay.
So and then all of that, and that's how you can, if you watch Clone Wars.
I wonder how that is because he was still an apprentice to Obi in episode 3. But yeah, how was he
No,
training?
he wasn't.
He wasn't?
No, he was already a knight.
Oh, really?
He was a Jedi Knight.
Oh, he was just working with Obi a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because he went off on his own to be with Palpatine. Ah, okay. Alright. I'm with you.
He eventually becomes master because of.
Because
well, no, he
of-
gets in the council.
But he doesn't, they don't grant
and
him
Greg,
master.
right?
Yeah.
And is pissed. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She gets super butthurt.
So how about this? We'll jump back and forth. We were talking a lot about episode 2. We'll talk a little bit more on Balin and Shin. So Balin.
Loving the actress playing was it
Shin?
Shin?
Yeah.
She's pretty badass.
Yeah, she's very dark and mysterious. Gives me that the daughter of from the scrolls.
Oh, see, Gia?
Gia, yeah, just like that type
Gaia?
of
Gaia.
Gaia, yeah, gives that like the esque of her, like just following her master. I mean, Gaia doesn't really follow her dad's orders, but whatever. Just that demeanor that they carry,
I get you.
that
The essence
badass,
of her,
you know?
yeah, huh?
But I think Shin has this level of loyalty to Balin the way the Jedi's do. So Balin has a lightsaber hilt because Hogan.
Really? I see it the same way the master and apprentice work with the Sith. I see it that way.
Yes and no. So
Because I feel like
how do
the
you say
Sith.
the android's name? Hogan, Ho-Young,
Huyang.
Hu-Young,
That,
Hu-Young. Has this. He analyzes the lightsabers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says this one was built and a little bit modified, but this is the one that I teach younglings.
I've only seen one youngling do or have his lightsaber this way.
Right.
But the reason I say that is because I feel like with the Siths, master and apprentice, Siths, the apprentice does whatever the master says. Where the Jedi side, you kind of see a little back and forth, a little bit of more rebellious, like we should do it this way, or why can't we do it like this? And you see it with Anakin, you see it with Ahsoka, you even saw it a little bit with Obi and Qui-Gon. So I feel like, because literally she hasn't questioned, what's his name? Shin hasn't questioned Balin. She hasn't questioned him at all. She learned whatever he says. He goes, "All right, she goes, turns and does it."
Yeah.
So
well,
that's
no,
why I
she
see
says because she even asked, like, what webs.
Yeah,
what
she's
strings
just,
is he pulling?
yeah,
like?
she's just more questioning for knowledge. She's not questioning to disobey.
I get it.
You
That makes
get what
sense.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she just wants to know, hey, what are we doing this for? Not why are we doing this, or you know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
fair. The tone is different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he seems to be Jedi trained, and he is.
Yeah,
he
that's
was a
apparent.
Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So seems to have survived Order
Well,
66.
yeah, it's established because he said this guy trained him as a youngling. Yeah.
So
not trained him,
he's
but-
she's not getting trained in the way of the dark side, and their lightsabers are orange. So it's a
I
different.
thought they're red. They look red to me.
No, they're orange.
Are they? Oh.
And Dave Filoni says that they're orange because he wants to clarify that they're not Jedi or Sith.
Oh,
That's the reason why they're orange.
interesting.
So, but confirmed by Dave Filoni.
Maybe I just biased. Was like, oh, they're bad. It's red.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's
Maybe.
probably that was my brain doing that.
Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Dave Filoni said it. That it's not.
So that's confirmed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're and he says he has sympathy to killing a Jedi. It's a shame because there's so few left. You know.
Oh right, he does kind of sympathize with the Jedi Order,
Yeah.
and so okay.
And then she's like sympathy, and he's like no truth. You know, so it's
Yeah.
a weird
I like
weird
that.
dynamic of him, and we see in previews that we know they're gonna fight. You know what I mean, Master and Apprentice,
Mhm.
and it sets up. Sabine Wren is now going to be her apprentice. And
Again.
she has and then she has Ezra's lightsaber, that green lightsaber that she wields. It's
Yeah,
Ezra's.
it's Ezra's. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
It's there's a lot of cool parallels to good and evil, dark side, light side.
I like the scene parallels that they're giving us too. Like that scene of her going up to the painting was straight out of Rebels.
Straight out of
like literally to the touch
Yeah.
of the face.
The only difference is like when Ahsoka turns around.
she's holding a staff in
when-
the Rebels.
Correct, and she's all white.
Yeah.
And Dave Filoni's like a big. He loves the. He incorporates like Lord of the Rings a little bit as far as like Gandalf, the
Oh, is that
character
right?
Gandalf, and so she's standing there, Gandalf the White in Rebels versus she's Gandalf the Grey. So I think at some point they're gonna recreate that scene of like a passage of like she's now enlightened and stepped up to this masterhood of some sort, and maybe giving the offer of like a Jedi Knight or
Cool.
like, hey, you're on your own to be like you're good to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Passing of the torch.
Yeah. So there she's wearing gray, no staff. She's like Gandalf the Grey before she's full powered, and then Gandalf the White is full powered. You know, and now she's there with the staff.
Gotcha.
So that's some of the things that I've caught on there. I do like the hallway scene. There's been some epic fucking hallway scenes in a lot of shows, but you know, Darth Vader esque of
yeah, I saw that
Balin.
I saw that in this one with Balin. I'm like, dude, Star Wars loves
Yeah.
their goddamn hallway
And he's
scenes.
so calm. He never stops moving forward. He knows without a doubt he's not gonna lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he does a force choke and a throw.
He seems like a formidable bad guy, so he looks
Agreed.
like a good foe. So yeah.
Let me see. What else?
I don't think I have.
Wave.
Oh, I do have a big question for you. Do you believe Ezra is alive?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think he's fine. Yeah. I think we'll see Ezra. We already saw the hologram.
So we've already got established that there's an actor portraying him.
Correct. Correct.
So.
I think he's alive. I think he's definitely alive. Do you think we'll see Mando?
I kind of hope no.
To not take away from Ahsoka.
To not take away from Ahsoka. So they did it in Boba Fett. They had Mando come in. Cool. The scene required him to be there. I get it for the story. I don't know.
Do you think we'll see Luke?
I feel that's who I want to see as opposed if there's gonna be a guest from another series, I'd rather it be Luke.
Okay.
What if it was like when he had Grogu? When he was training Grogu?
Wait, speak up a little bit. What do you mean?
No, so this happens after
It happens
Mando, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
Yeah, I kind of if we don't
Or
get
maybe you're right.
if we don't get a guest spot, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
I
me
want
too.
I want Ahsoka to be her own story.
Yeah.
I get that it's a spinoff of Mando, great. She's already been in his few episodes or like 2 episodes of his series.
Both seasons.
Yeah. So yeah, I want it to be its own story.
Okay, fair enough.
I would like it. Like I said, if we get a guest spot, cool, awesome.
I'd say the
get
easiest way to do it is Bo-Katan. She's a Mandalorian.
Or Bo-Katan, I would
Yeah.
like to see that, and I think that's probably what we will see, especially since we have Sabine
Yeah.
right in there. I think Bo-Katan is more logical to have that character guest on this show,
Yeah.
and I would be fine with it. Because even she alludes to, I used to work with Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Was one of them.
Yeah, correct.
So I've seen that. I've seen her and Ahsoka have scenes together, and was it Clone Wars or was it Rebels?
Both.
Both. See, so there you go. So I think if we're gonna see anybody, it's gonna be Bo-Katan. I'm gonna put my seal of approval on that one. I think that's the one person we'll see. Yeah,
So
I think that
we
makes
get
more sense.
introduced to a live action of another droid besides Ho Young. We see
Ho-Young.
the astromech droid, Chopper.
Love that little
Super
guy.
cute, and he like
He's
has
like,
some,
yeah.
talks back. You know, like you can hear his like beeping noise. Sounds like, did you touch my stuff?
Mumbled words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like. I don't know what it was, and maybe this was on purpose, but I kept feeling like he was going to
Yeah,
her.
he
like
was.
he was like mocking
being a
her.
little brat.
Yeah,
That's
he was
exactly what
mocking
he was
her.
doing, yeah.
I fucking love that.
Did
Like,
you touch my
Language.
stuff? That's what it sounded like he said, right? Yeah.
He's like, no, did you check underneath? He's like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly.
Chopper's cool.
I need more Chopper.
And his head like moves. It doesn't move left or right only.
Yeah,
It,
it's kind of
like,
on its own
wobbles.
axis a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of the way like a wheel and an axis work.
Yeah.
So I need more Chopper. Yeah, give me more
so
Chopper.
BB-8, Chopper, R2D2.
Shout out to droids, man.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars.
stepping
I
up.
love it.
The little cape droids, those were cute.
Oh yeah, the little wheelie guys. Those are awesome. I want those. Yeah. So, but I think he's gonna be a cool comic relief, definitely.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
Series. We got to give a little fact that the actor portraying Thrawn in this series is the voice actor of Thrawn in the animation.
Correct.
So
and
that's
so
cool.
is, you know the he looked like the governor type guy that was like presenting Sabine, and then
Oh yes, so that she didn't
he's
show
also
up.
the same.
Is it?
voice
Is that
actor.
right?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting.
And then shout out to Ray, the gentleman that plays Balin. He did pass away recently.
No,
Yeah, Ray Stevenson.
he was
plays-
Firefly.
Correct.
Oh, is that why it says to our friend Ray?
Yes. That was the
Ah.
homage to him.
I didn't.
He
I was
passed
like,
away
who
this
else, Ray?
year.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm sad now. He dies?
Yeah. He
Why
died
did-
in real life.
No, I understand
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I get it.
Oh,
No,
shit.
but I'm asking.
He dies. Yeah, that's what
No,
happens when you die.
No, I'm like, no, I know. I'm saying, oh, the actor dies. Like, oh, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what did he die of? Do you know?
I don't know. That's a good question. I just know he passed away. He died May 21st of this year.
Aw. Sorry, I just fixed on my on camera fixing. That song, rest in peace, right?
Yeah, I can't.
Every time I see him, I just hear that damn accent from G.I. Joe's.
G.I. Joe's, yeah.
That southern draw.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He's an awesome actor.
Yeah, I mean,
Thoroughly enjoyed him.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
sad passing.
oh,
I'm sure they're gonna give him a good
send off.
Yeah.
Show. I hope so.
So.
Man,
I thought you knew that.
I did not. No, I did not. I did not know.
Which is another cool thing is we get a credit to Hayden Christensen. He's supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
As Anakin.
Yeah, as Anakin. I've heard that as well. I've heard he's reprising his role as Anakin, not Darth Vader.
Correct.
As he did in Obi-Wan.
Emin Isfandi is gonna play Ezra Bridger. He's the person that we see.
Okay. Now I got a question for you. So, him playing Anakin, do you foresee us? Well, yeah, it has to be. It's gonna be flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because this is after Return, so he's already established as Vader.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be through flashbacks. Then.
Or Force Ghost. Because Vader's dead at this point.
Yes, he is dead.
Vader's dead, and he's already redeemed himself.
You are correct, sir. Nerd with the knowledge at work. All right. Yeah, that's true. So
He could be a Force
he's
Ghost.
already dead. Oh, now I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this. Wow. Interesting.
I think it'd be cool to see it that way.
That's so cool to think of. Ooh, I'm super excited to see his episodes now.
And this is widely highly accepted by a lot of people. IMDb gave it an 8.5 rating. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93. The audience scored it at 86, which is lower than I expected. I think it will raise as the next 6 episodes or.
Yeah, I mean, 2 episodes is hard to base anything on.
Yeah.
I think is why. Yeah, I think you're right. I think is why it's at an 86 audience score.
Yeah.
But Rotten Tomato 93%. You can't.
That's pretty solid,
There's
yeah.
no shame in that. I got a funny question for you. Has anyone ever been broken out of, or has anyone ever stopped someone from breaking out of jail in Star Wars? Because what are the guards there for? They die every time.
The what? Oh, the guards. True.
Never stopped anyone from being broken out.
They must have like.
At this point, I'd just be like, "Who are you here to break out? All right, cell 3."
Yeah, seriously.
Why?
Yeah, like I'm not giving up my life no more. I see all these other people die. Truthfully, yeah, you're right.
I'll buzz you in.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, these poor troopers, like whether it's the
never stopped
the Republic
anyone,
guards,
dude. Just died every single time.
Every single time.
Why have guards posted up anymore?
This is true. This is fair.
So dumb. Just like
poor things.
And they're really just like no match.
Yeah, like
these guys take them down without breaking 1 ounce of sweat.
Seriously.
So it's just like, what is
I
happening?
would just want to not guard. Like, just like, is this a punishment, guys? Why are you making me a guard for prison?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna die at some point. If this person gets broken
Who
out,
am I
I'm gonna die.
guarding? Yeah, they want her back. I quit.
That's a no for me, dog. I'm done. I retire.
Seriously. Like guard duty? Damn it!
What did I do? Come on, guys. I never put that together. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they've always died.
Yeah,
every
they
single
do.
time. whether it's the good breaking out somebody or the bad.
There must be like new recruits because they're always so courageously jumping to try to stop them, and then just horribly die.
Yeah, like who's that? All right,
Yeah.
dumb. Find a new job.
That's
I just thought I saw that in this episode, and I'm like, dude, every single time breaks out with
That
no
is true.
problem, just easily. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, he also breaks her out. Balin Skull. He has usually like an astromech droid like R2D2 or Chopper. Like they stick their thing in and then like, wow.
Whoa!
You know what I'm talking about, right? Where like they unlock things
on how
and they
babies
control.
are born in Star Wars.
Anyways, through Force,
they stick their thing in
the Force,
and then do that. All
baby
right.
Jesus is basically that's how they happen.
So today's episode on how Grogu came to be. Oh shit.
But you know what I'm talking about, like when he unlocks it with the Force. We've not seen anyone unlock.
Who did?
Balin when he gets.
When he unlocks her
Lady
handcuffs.
Morgan out. No, that too. But to open the door, usually like
I've
R2D2.
seen that plenty of times.
No, it's
No.
always been a droid.
Yeah. So like, usually they'll open doors like normal doors, sliding doors.
Oh, got
but
you.
this time it
A
was
jail cell?
yeah the unlocking. So like in episode 2,
I get what you're saying.
R2D2 controls the elevator. He's like R2D2 going up, not down. And then so like he's like oh shit, and he's doing all the goofy shit like but with the.
Ooh, spot on Arjun.
You think so? Oh, cool, sweet. We has his probe inside the lock. Oh my god, there's nothing I can say. I can't say anything.
There's nothing you can say.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
But
Alright.
yeah, so usually it's an astromech droid that does these things.
Correct. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
And he just unlocks it.
Yeah.
So he's pretty powerful with the Force. He's classically Jedi trained.
Yeah.
Fallen slightly to the dark side, having these Orge sabers, and like Dave Filoni says, he's
to
not.
be fair, aren't usually the people that R2's opening up doors for is like Han and
But
Chewie
in episode 2, it was. Oh no, episode 3. Episode 3.
Oh no, he is working for Anakin,
Anakin
and
and
Obi.
Obi.
Yeah, dude. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. That's a good point you bring up. I never put that together.
Yeah, so he's pretty powerful to be able to manipulate those things. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true. I never put that together. I never put 2 and 2 together on that. Interesting. But yeah, dude. I mean, this series is just it's.
and
I'm
it
seriously
carries.
looking forward to the rest.
Yeah, me too. It carries over that. Was it Mandalorian that we see the people are still following like the first, eventually what becomes the First Order, but they still are following the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw that in the second episode where that like junkyard-esque spot where they're breaking down
out to
Imperial stuff.
Yeah.
So they were still working for the Empire. Even
correct.
says, for the Empire.
And then dies. Yeah.
Stupid idiot.
But same thing, that one character from Mandalorian, the lesbian like really swole chick.
Oh right.
Yeah. So she's still working for the Empire also.
Right.
You know. So
she's working for Moff, not Gideon.
The Empire.
The Empire, right? But I doubt she's down for the Empire. I think she's more for Moff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. One and the same.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
okay,
I think it's cool to see all this happening. Still having people, a lot of believers of the Empire, and
I get very Hydra vibes, where like they're still hidden, but still working for the Empire.
I like that. Agreed. Very Hydra vibe.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's probably why we like it, because it's similar to that. But yeah, any other points of Ahsoka you want to touch
on? No. I mean, where it's going right now, she's officially Ahsoka's apprentice, Sabine Wren. They're Jedis of some sort, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they both are. So she's not quite a Jedi, Ahsoka. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's a good parallel because neither is Balin and Shin. They're not also Jedi or Sith either. So I think this
kind of one of the same of like, she's not a Jedi, but she's of that side, and they're not Sith, but they're of that side.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So they're good
What's the
parallels.
heartbroken is that for Rey?
I forgot why I wrote that.
Oh no.
He could have been. He's about the same age as Anakin, so he could know Anakin Balin.
Oh.
He could have known
Really?
Anakin. He could have been, a Padawan at the same age, or a youngling.
Oh yeah, because he's around Ahsoka's generation ish, like
Ish. No,
like
no.
coming up with her alongside her, right?
No, he definitely came up alongside Anakin.
Oh, not
Being,
not Ahsoka. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Ahsoka's younger than both of them.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that.
I wonder if they're gonna explore that at all. I wonder if we'll see that maybe.
Yeah, I think the reason why he turns because he might have had a youngling that was going to be his Padawan. Could have been murdered by Anakin.
Oh, in
Order
episode
66.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. You think that's what made him turn? But
I think that's what made him not go dark side. That's why he's something different.
Oh, okay. Because
he's
of
not-
what the
he's
dark
not a
side
Sith.
did. Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
I think what usually makes people go dark or go the other route is because they have a significant loss that happens to them.
So they're more vigilante-esque
Yeah.
than for either side.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting. Like I said, dude, I'm excited to see what else this series.
So they're
brings.
coming out every Tuesday now, right?
Correct. Every Tuesday
Yeah.
at Disney Plus. Make sure you guys are tuned in for that.
Correct.
We will be here as often as we can, covering the episodes. I mean, I'm down to cover each episode as it comes out.
All right, I'm with it too.
Yeah. I don't foresee us having. I don't think we have much coming up
No.
as far as like.
We'll do a Blue
What to
Beetle.
cover?
I know we want to talk Pokemon. Did you watch the?
I have not seen it yet. You said it's on Netflix?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
When he
I'll
becomes
watch
a
it.
champion, he defeats the current champion.
Spoilers. No. All right, yeah, but I mean, we got some stuff, but we're gonna be holding on to Ahsoka pretty heavily.
Yeah, and then did want to touch base. There's some restructuring of Marvel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about that. For a second.
So they realized their formula of releasing movies and shows and special presentations. It's kind of been a little bit everywhere.
Well,
a lot
yeah,
of it had to do with COVID. A lot of it had to
more
do
of
with
the series,
the writer
on
strike.
Disney, yeah.
There's a lot of things happening, and this is a good chance for them to kind of restructure how they're releasing things. So there's going to be like 2 to 3 movies a year. There's going to be 2 Disney Plus shows, and in between the shows will be a special presentation. That's the idea that they have. Now
That they want to structure it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, because it has been kind of a crapshoot, as it's been very obvious with the quality of the shows and how they've been happening. What the next thing we have, what is Echo, but that's going to be a dump where they just put the entire series out. And I don't know if that's in response to people not liking how the series has been going, where it's episode by episode, and I mean, just
I
the
think
quality.
Echo is because of the quality. They said Echo's.
They don't have too much faith. They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of faith in that
Correct.
series.
And I think it's because of the failure of She-Hulk. I think it just wasn't as popular as they thought it was going to be.
Well, no. Here's the thing. No. Feige has said they made She-Hulk with the understanding that it's not going to be for everybody. They literally put it out there, and they knew it wasn't going to appeal to everyone. They made it for specific fans of that type of show.
Okay.
So they knew for a fact that She-Hulk's not going to appeal to everybody. I guess they kind of expected it to flop, but they knew that it's going to be a very niche show. So they put that out there,
Okay.
knowing that. I think where they've been falling hard is, I guess they probably felt Hawkeye was going to do a little bit better than it did. Definitely Secret Invasion was a hard flop for them.
Yeah.
A lot of people disliked it. I have my theories as to why that is. We won't go into it. We kind of already covered it in our episode of Secret Invasion. But I think what they need is, I think they need a restructuring. I think the way that they're gonna go about it is. I think they didn't have a misstep, and they failed with how they wanted to do it. They wanted to push out these shows a lot.
Yeah.
So I think if they take their foot off the gas a little bit, kind of pace themselves with these shows, I think the quality is going to go up, and I think the fan interest and
Yeah, because
and
now they're going to
likability
focus back
will
on quality instead of quantity.
Exactly, and I think that's where they fucked up. Is I think they were like, oh, let's get all these Disney shows out, and I think, like you said, I think that has to deal with COVID. COVID hit a big pause with Marvel.
Yeah.
As
They
well
need
as
to recuperate some money.
as well as all other shows and movies. The movie industry and the film industry the entertainment industry took a big pause with COVID. So I kind of felt like they were in a bit of a panic rush mode type of let's get shit out there.
Yeah.
I think that's where they messed up. Us as fans, especially with the nerd realm, we want quality.
Yeah.
Because we have a shit ton of comics to go through. We don't care about quantity. We want quality work.
Correct.
Which is what Phase 1 was, quality. Phase 2 was quality. Phase 3 started to die off a little bit.
I think Phase 3 was the strongest in quality. Truthfully.
Oh, I'm sorry. Phase 4. Phase 4 started to die off. Sorry. Phase 4 started to die off of quality a little bit. After Endgame, stuff started to slowly pace down.
Yeah. So from what I've been reading and people have been saying, that there's a concept out there that they might just restructure the entire MCU after Infinity War. I'm sorry, after Secret Wars.
Yeah, I heard that
Secret
too.
Wars, it's just
that they're gonna reset.
Blow it all up.
It's gonna do a reset.
Yeah.
Very similar to what DC's doing. I heard that too. Don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either. I'm scared. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, because I think they're letting what's the word I'm looking for? Fan comments and what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the reviews of just
yeah. I think they're
dictate how
letting
they
that
wanna
play
do it.
in too much into. I'm like, Feige, you got it, dude. Just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Fans will come around.
Because I don't want them to reboot a different Tony and kill that legacy. You know.
I don't know if they're gonna do that. I think as far as storytelling, they might reboot. Like as far as the way they tell stories, and yeah, at least I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. I think especially if you do it this soon as to Iron Man and all that.
Yeah.
I think if you reboot and try to, like you said, have a new actor playing an already told story, it's too fresh. It's way too fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a mistake. Because when's Secret Wars supposed to come out? 2025, 2027.
It's pushed back now.
Yeah, so I think it's 2027 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even still, I think within 10 years of a character not being around anymore,
Too soon.
Too soon.
Way too soon. Yeah.
Way too fucking soon. I don't think Feige would do that.
I hope not.
That's
my only worry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you in that aspect. But I don't know. I don't have anything else on Ahsoka. I think
it's a great show. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a must watch.
Absolutely.
For sure. If you even like Star Wars a tiny bit.
Yeah.
This is a show to watch. Like I said, it's the Jedi show we've been wanting. I've been wanting.
Yeah.
I won't speak on your behalf, guys. But it's definitely something I've been needing. Mando is kind of dying down a little bit. I think it's coming close to an end.
Mm-hmm.
We will see his story will wrap up in a movie, as from rumors or from prospects have been saying it's going to be a movie that ties in his story. But I'm looking forward to see what else Star Wars is going to be bringing.
Yeah.
We know that they've got a lot of stuff they want to tell. I'm excited about it. They've been stated that Rey is going to get a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be years after.
I'm excited. If they bring back Thrawn, I hope they stop him from doing what he wants to do in this series, but he still continues to be a threat. Because I think he can be a threat for Rey also. As in like
so now explain, without going too far into it because we're wrapping up here, but what level of threat is Thrawn? Is he a Palpatine level? Is he?
Yes,
where's
but
he
with
at?
no Force abilities. He also was able to figure out that Anakin was Vader. He was one of the first people to know.
That I knew, yeah.
He was the first people to know that Anakin was Vader.
Without being told it, yeah. Okay.
He's just a master.
So he's the next big bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's he's like a Red Skull as far as how he can pull all the pieces together. Not in comparison because he's one's blue, one's red. You know, like not because of the color of skin,
so
but
basic. Okay.
But like he's just that great of a general. Like
he's a mastermind that way. Yeah. Okay.
I hate to say this, but he's like Hitler.
All right.
Like Hitler, he brainwashed people to think that blue eyes, blue eyes and blonde hair was a way to be, and he wasn't even blonde hair and blue eyes.
Explain that. I mean,
what? Like, Yeah. So
I'm
that's
sorry,
how,
anybody following Hitler, how did you be like, yes, those are the right people, but you're
Yeah. not. Yeah.
that?
Well, I always said it. If Hitler had did what he did for good, he would have been gone down in history as one.
So yeah, guys, this Ahsoka series is a definite must-watch. Disney Plus every Tuesday. Try to keep up with it because we want to be on top of this series as much as possible. I think it's a huge series for us. I think we're really big into it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. So we're going to be giving you updates as much as possible on that. But as I said, that's going to do it for us. We want to thank you guys for sticking around, and guys, again, get the word out there on us. Share us with friends if you guys are enjoying the episodes. We really appreciate that. But as always, Kiki, I am with you
To the end of the line.
Thanks, guys.